Hello and welcome back into my kitchen. Today we're going to make an Italian focaccia. For our focaccia we will need some flour and we need some extra virgin olive oil. We use the one that we made ourselves. We will need some sugar, some lukewarm milk, salt, lukewarm water, a package of dried yeast. For our toppings we will be using olive oil, tomatoes, olives, rosemary and some granulated salt or salt flakes. We start by taking 16 grams of sugar, pouring in the package of yeast and gently stirring it a bit. Now we pour 470 grams of plain flour in a bowl and add our sugar and yeast mixture. And now we're ready to mix it. Now you will be using either a cooking machine or a mixer, and you will be mixing the flour constantly and slowly adding the water, the milk and lastly the oil. And you keep on mixing until you get a nice looking dough. So now that everything is mixed, you will have a dough that is quite sticky and very hard to take a grab of. So we will place it on a surface with a lot of flour, and to remove it from the bowl we will be using a spatula. If you'd like to, you can also, if you don't have a mixer, you can use your hand, but if you're lazy or just tired, you can let a machine do your work. So now that our dough is on our working surface, we use the spatula in order not to get dirty hands, and we slightly fold the dough a couple of times. The big difference between the dough of focaccia and of pizza is that the dough of focaccia is much more moist, so it will always be very sticky and you won't ever be able to properly work with it. That and obviously the ingredients are slightly different because the dough for focaccia contains milk, which the dough for pizza should not contain. Now we'll be transferring our dough into a bowl and we'll be covering the bowl with some cling foil, and we will leave it to rest for approximately 2 hours. The best place to put it now is in the oven, where it won't have any drafts and it will have a stable temperature. So in the oven we go. Now our dough has nicely grown to twice the size and we're ready to bake it. Now we'll use a tray, put some nice oil on it, brush it properly, don't be stingy with the oil, because you don't want the focaccia to stick. Alternatively, if you want a more light version, you could use some baking paper, but yeah, the flavor is not the same. Now we take our dough, remove it from the bowl, let's not throw away anything, so we remove everything. Now we oil our hands in order not to make the dough stick to our own fingers. And we spread it out. We dip our fingers in oil again. Then we make dumps into the dough. Put some salt on top. Now I want to make 3 sections, one with rosemary, one with olives, and the last one with tomatoes. Last drizzle of oil. And it's good to go into the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. perfectly brown and crispy. And now we'll be cutting it and eating it. And here's the finished focaccia, ready to be eaten. Thanks for watching and see you again next week. Bye!